So, what happens if you write a script in the mid 1980s for a space comedy movie, not film it until 2000, and put it on the shelf for another 2 years after that? What do you get? You get The Adventures of Pluto Nash, released in 2002 and starring Eddie Murphy, Randy Quaid, Rosario Dawson, Joe Pantoliano, Jay Moore, I think that's how you pronounce it, and among a whole bunch of others, and of all people, John Cleese.
Huh.
Why is John Cleese in here?
Might as well be
Okay,
asking why someone as talented as Eddie Murphy is here. But sadly, Eddie Murphy, despite being one of the greatest comedians of our time, tends
He's
to
never
have...
had the most rigorous selection when it comes to his movie, or he needs to fire his agent at least.
Yeah. The film was directed by Ron Underwood, who in the past had some successes such as Tremors.
Yeah.
This movie was not Tremors, in that it was hated by almost all critics and audiences who saw it. Well, when I say audience, the very little that did, because this movie is notorious for not only being awful, but for also being one of the biggest box office bombs in all of cinema.
This
On a
movie
budget
was...
of $100 million,
Oh.
it only made $7 million.
This movie was so bad that it may have killed Mr. Underwood's filming career. Basically after this, he did like 2 more movies and then basically went to directing television stuff afterwards.
Well, to be fair to Rod Underwood, one of those television projects was Once Upon a Time.
Huh. Okay, so it's not all bad.
Yes, which is probably one of the few things you can even somewhat tangentially connect to this movie that are good.
Well, let's see. It has a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 90 reviews. Yikes! Oh boy. And mind you, this is a film so bad that Eddie Murphy himself has used this movie for the butt of a few of his own jokes here and there.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, all right. So let's get on with this. And it's only 90 minutes, but it does feel a bit longer. Okay. Start before the Warner Brothers logo in 3, 2, 1, click.
I am just glad that Eddie Murphy seems to be getting back on the metaphorical horse, because Dolomite was an awesome movie, and he has a few other things coming out that look pretty good, like a sequel to Coming to America, one of his earliest films.
Alright, and
The
right.
soundtrack is definitely 90s.
Okay, I'm actually...
God, what's his name again?
I've listened to the soundtrack for this movie.
Rob Reiner.
I've listened to the soundtrack for this movie, and basically this song replaced like 80% of what was going to be the opening music track for the movie, because the film was scored by John Powell.
Huh.
Oh, I love John Powell.
Me too. He made such a great score for Pan.
Wow. So basically, this is the second Warner Brothers movie that we've commentated on that had a score by John Powell, and it was a box office disaster.
And hey, just like Pan, we go to space. Oh, Rosario Dawson! Oh, I like you. You're in a lot of great stuff.
So was Joe Pantoliano.
And Luis Guzman. You know, this is a bit like a random...
Hey, Joe, but did you know the moon has craters?
Yes, I did.
But, you were in Rocky. What the hell happened?
So, basically, this is one of those plots where we make a civilization on the moon.
Okay.
Oh boy, we saved our special credit for John Cleese.
John, did you read the script before you...
Okay. Gotta give the casting agency for this movie credit. You managed to rope in a lot of good star power for this one.
Prepare for full gravity.
You know, John...
Oh, I see. So America colonized the moon. Sorry, Britain and Portugal. We beat you to colonizing the moon, I'm afraid.
Why would there even be the point in colonizing the moon? It's an inhabitable place for us.
Also, 2080. Okay, guys, 60 years from now.
Go ahead.
60 years from now, we'll colonize the moon. You were saying, Paige?
Talk about a waste of resources and money. Like,
Maybe
that's
it's...
the most useless thing you can do.
Well,
Like,
come on, tell me you wouldn't want to live on the moon.
no, I wouldn't, because it's an incredibly inhospitable place for people, like for people in general, actually.
I guess at this point in time, we managed to make it hospitable.
I guess, but the movie hasn't told us so otherwise.
So, is Pluto Nash based on anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, apparently, from what I can remember of, apparently this film did have some production issues. Apparently, Ron Underwood and Eddie Murphy were apparently having a few disagreements. They had to bring in another editor because the previous one, as much as he tried, couldn't really make a decent film out of it.
Oh, get a new editor. That'll save the movie for sure.
Yeah, because that worked so well for the Snowman.
Also, Mr. Cleese, remember that one point where you temporarily left Monty Python during the final season of Flying Circus because you felt like the group was stale and wasn't really, doing anything too, interesting.
Wow, it
But
got
then
that bad?
But then you came back for Holy Grail, because Holy Grail was far more interesting than what the final season was. Well, how about you start exercising, standards when it comes to picking which movies you're in?
So basically, Holy Grail was like the thing that saved Monty Python, it sounds like.
It was. Basically, the final season of Flying Circus was at a point where the show was starting to get stale because, you could tell they were... that was around that point that they stopped doing Flying Circus and they started making feature films, which would allow them to try different things.
Okay, so yeah, the club that Pluto Nash is
Buying?
that his best friend runs is not exactly. Yeah.
So what?
That was his reaction when he read the script.
So basically, he wants to. You know what that reminds me of? His famous reaction that was made a gif out of in Daddy Daycare. It's one of the funniest reactions because basically, without spoiling, let's just say he sees something incredibly horrifying there that it's left up to the imagination.
Yeah, now we've got Rocky's best friend as a gangster.
So what? Basically, the plot is like that Pluto wants to buy up this place and renovate it.
Yeah. Also, okay. Another thing I should mention: the writer. Neil Cuthbert. In the past, he wrote such films as The Return of Swamp Thing, Hocus Pocus, and Mystery Men.
Huh. Not bad.
This was the last film of his that he wrote.
Wow. So, career killer, or was it just he retired?
Career killer.
Ooh.
Well, Jova, it's one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. Is there anything this film hasn't killed?
Well, not only that, one of the most hated movies of all time. Like, you'll be okay.
Well, it's a comedy that's painfully unfunny, so...
Aw, that's nice. What does this have to do with anything?
Yeah, what does that have?
And meanwhile, he's being tortured.
So you're just gonna sit there and watch this happen to him?
I'm sure he's got a plan.
Battery acid. Why are they even trying to kill this guy? What did he do?
Because he failed to pay his debts or something.
And you know what happens if you fail to pay your debts? You
To the mob, yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah. It's does this guy have a daughter that's soon to get married? We can use that to get over it.
Oh!
Probably the composition between Ron Underwood and the writer.
How many? You know,
yeah, his act's so shit that, and also the guy's act is so shit that no one's going to the restaurant, and well, he hasn't made much in the way of money.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, it's to be fair, I mean, it's like Pluto said earlier. It's him in a kilt playing the accordion. That's
Honestly-
not much of an act.
Jova Dwebs brought up a good point when it comes to this restaurant being on the moon. It allows for inspectors not to come in, apparently, because no way in hell would a restaurant with a kitchen like that stay open.
Yeah.
Not in any sane world.
So what? Basically, he proposed to renovate the place and thus make it sell well, I guess.
Okay, can we start by cleaning that disgusting kitchen? I'm pretty sure if my mom entered our kitchen and saw that, she would faint. Like, seriously.
Oh man, now we in business.
So yeah, now we skip 7 years.
Wait, what? Excuse me?
Oh, and by the way, that gangster guy, we never see him again.
Okay, a random time skip.
Okay, I have a bit of a confession.
Oh, Chopin totally harder. What the hell happened, man? You were in the Matrix, then a year later you were in Ready to Rumble and god awful wrestling comedy, and now you're here.
Maybe
You
it's
were you were a great villain in Memento as well. So what the hell, Joe? Come on,
Well,
Joe.
Memento came out. When did Memento come out?
2001. I think. Let me
2000, I
double check real
thought it
quick.
was.
Oh, 2000. Well, whatever. It came out around this time. 2 years before this one, apparently.
Oh, goody, gambling's legal on the moon too.
Well, apparently this is the only place where it is legal.
Don't you see how
So
this
yeah, in 7 years, the club's turned into that.
I guess
okay.
to be fair, it would need to get better.
I guess we've achieved our goal. Okay, story's over. So that was Pluto Nash.
Okay, I have a bit of a confession. I have seen like the first 15 minutes of this movie back when I was a kid. So I can tell you this, Pedro. Yeah, almost everything having to do with this, with the first few minutes was pointless.
Then why exactly are we here?
Granted,
To establish that he's a successful owner of a club now.
granted, I've not seen the end, so maybe there'll be a plot twist that somehow ties the whole gangster plot into stuff, but as far as I could get a read off of this film, no, it doesn't really seem to.
God, I love how Eddie Murphy, this character, doesn't even seem like he's aged in these past 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. If he was like in his 20s or something, I can see why he wouldn't age that much. Also, stereotypes aside, we do tend to age rather gracefully.
Well, that's more so. I think that it wasn't more like Asians who tend to age more gracefully or something.
Yeah, okay, there's the saying "black don't crack." That's usually something that's something we say, mind you.
Don't say that. I can't comment on that on the air.
That's something that hey, that's something that we say, okay? You know.
No, I get that. You say it, but I can't say it. So I.
Oh,
can't
anyway,
comment.
now we got. Sorry, guys, we have to start what plot there is.
Oh, hey, Rosario.
Rosario.
Looking as fine as ever.
Sure. No, I understand what your point, Joe. It's just that I always thought it was Asians that people mention when it comes to aging gracefully. So
It's also, with black people too.
all right, I guess.
Wait, you're him? But you're Eddie Murphy. You deserve a lot better than this. What are you doing here?
Rough town, get it? Because Salt Lake City and salt is rough and...
Salt on the moon?
Yeah, that's the thing, Dwibs. Okay, filmmaking 101. During the first few minutes of your movie, you need to establish a tone. For those who don't know, the technical definition, the tone means how a movie feels. This is a comedy. Last I checked, this was supposed to be a comedy. Therefore, from the very beginning, the movie should establish a somewhat silly, over-the-top tone. So far,
We're on the moon. The main character's called Pluto Nash, and they're playing it kind of straight.
Okay.
That's exactly the problem with. Yes, the circumstances are goofy, but the characters themselves are played, like you said, played straight, and they don't seem ridiculous, silly, or over the top in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So this doesn't even feel like a comedy.
Okay.
Anyway, the character's name here, the Rosario Dawson's playing, is named Dina Lake.
And apparently her moon card has expired.
So she can't leave the moon until she gets enough money to buy a new one.
Supposedly.
Honestly, so far this seems more like
Okay, so like, wait, I'm sorry. Was this actually billed as a comedy?
It's billed as a
live,
science fiction
live
action
the
comedy film.
live the good life in the off-world colony. Like seriously, this seems like this Count Road Run. This Count Blade Runner. Like,
Although I think I see what you guys mean though about there not really being much comedy. Like, what is the comedy? Is the comedy supposed to come from the fact that we're on the moon and his name is Pluto Nash?
okay, I can understand that, but at the same time, here's the thing: like a comedy still needs to have. Okay, yes, you can have subtle humor to it. Of course, not every joke needs to be completely on the audience's face, of course. But just having characters act completely normal as if these circumstances are completely normal, that doesn't equal a joke. It just comes across as awkward. Imagine if during we mentioned Holy Grail earlier. We mentioned Holy Grail earlier. Imagine if during the battle between King Arthur and the Black Knight, instead of the Black Knight being all silly and constantly
Oh
tossing it
boy,
off-
Randy Quaid.
Randy, what are you doing here?
What is up
Okay,
with that
now,
face?
okay. All right, but this is the first character that actually somewhat sounds like he's supposed to be an over-the-top comedic character.
Let me guess, he's a robot, isn't he?
Is he the?
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Oh,
Never mind then.
okay. Your sister didn't seem to mind. Okay,
Oh
that
my
was
god. I think I've deciphered this, Jova.
what?
This is meant to be the same kind of humor as Lab Rats, but without the laughing track.
Oh, okay.
As in, the characters do incredibly stupid stuff, but they but they still deliver it straight.
Oh dear. Clinton?
Oh, there you go, Java. Turns out this is an alternate timeline where Hillary Clinton won the 2016 election. There
And
you go.
apparently got her face put on the $1,000 bill.
There's $1,000 bill.
In the future, there apparently is.
Oh, in Europe, bills only go up to 500
So
euros.
yeah, this Rex Crater fellow, who's neither Joe Paterliano or the other guy.
Dwips,
He's
what's
trying to buy
ma-
the club, but Pluto's like, yeah, no.
Dwips, what's the maximum value of UK's bills?
£50.
Oh, only to £50?
Yeah.
Are there no 100-pound bills?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Do you also
Sounds
put?
like sounds like it'd be a bit convenient to have larger value
Well,
bills than just the 50.
Well, we're not as rich as America is.
Well, neither are we, Dwibs, and we have bills that go up to 500 euros.
I guess I can
Well, that's
see.
euros, though. That's shared across a whole continent.
True, yeah. Probably doesn't help that, recently Britain left, the whole United European Union, so yeah, even less money there. Can see why the values wouldn't be as high. Dwibs,
Okay, so basically, Jova, it was at this point you stopped watching the movie.
actually, it might have been earlier, but yeah, around this point.
Well, Jova's meant an estimation. I don't think he actually counted the minutes.
Okay.
Then.
Okay, visually, the last thing I remember was the whole club that all gets better sort of thing.
Oh, then we might have actually already surpassed that point. Actually.
Oh, yes, we have already surpassed that point.
Oh, and apparently Tony Francis is now very successful. So I guess that advice from Pluto worked out.
Okay, then. So I have a question. When does this movie actually start, being funny?
Okay. Better question. When's the action really kick into overdrive? Like, at best we've had maybe some guns pointed at each other, but,
I can't quite understand this movie. Does it want to be taken seriously, or is it supposed to be a comedy? It doesn't seem to be clear of how I'm supposed to feel about this.
Also, I can't remember, but what's the TV trope for, like, a movie that tries to predict what the future will be like, but in reality,
hang on.
Oh,
You were trying to buy the club a minute ago, now you're blowing it up.
Now, Dwibs, are we to assume that Rex Crater is behind this scandalous act?
Yeah,
God
you
damn.
were trying to buy his club a second ago, now you're blowing it up.
Well, okay,
God damn.
okay, to be fair,
God damn
Dwibs,
it.
that tends to be how a
Alright.
lot of people think. If I can't buy out the competition, I'll just bankrupt them. Well, that is, unless he has insurance.
God damn it, Michael! Did you take over the writing for this movie again?
Yes, bomb detonated.
Oh, laser gun.
Of course, it's the future.
No.
Wait, you take one shot and you run away.
Well, there's already in present time guns with that laser pointer. That's not the issue.
No.
What I found interesting was that
I'm talking about the gun actually shooting the laser, not the laser pointer thing.
Oh, okay. Which is interesting because usually those guns aren't the laser pointers in those guns usually red colored? I mean, the green. I mean, usually you always see that in action movies. Okay, granted, I know action movies are not exactly realistic, but
I guess a civilian. Since it's a laser gun, I guess a civilian-issued laser gun in 2080 has to have a green laser pointer. God.
okay. So I'm guessing these two are gonna be a comedic duo throughout this.
I'm having a hard time deciding which is more or less fun. This or the Super Mario Brothers movie, because I've noticed the similarities in the set design.
It's me as well, Jova, but I'm gonna have to agree with Dwebs on this one. At the very least, in that movie, we had the Super Mario, we have the Alan Silvestri score, which was so hilariously out of place.
Oh, wait. You and Dwibs compared the two movies while you guys were watching Super Mario Brothers?
No. In the sense that, well, you just did, and I brought up the idea that at least we had that to make fun of. So far, this movie, I don't know. This movie it's just boring so far. Mostly because I don't know what the tone is.
Then this music isn't helping
so
either.
Far, the way the characters speak, and the way, yeah, exactly. It feels like I'm supposed to be invested in this, but at the same time, wasn't this supposed to be a comedy? It's like,
is this what Eddie Murphy's reaction was when he saw how the movie was going to turn out?
maybe. Oh shit!
I love those bad guys who always pose dramatically instead of just taking the goddamn shot.
Music?
It's to showcase we're in the action phase.
It's like, imagine if the characters in Monty Python Holy Grail, instead of being really silly, instead of being really silly and over the top, they always talked completely straight.
Also,
You know?
what he said, yeah, no kidding, it's a trap. But here's a better question. How did you know he even went in there when you were trailing so far behind?
Well, I mean, they did intercept that guy's call earlier.
So now this has become a cover-based shooter, basically.
Oh, I guess it's a better cover-based shooter than Quantum Break.
But
Yeah.
I'm curious, Wiz, what were your thoughts on the final season of Flying Circus?
I haven't seen that.
You're a Brit and you haven't seen Flying Circus? Like, what?
I've only seen a few specific segments.
Ugh.
I guess that was supposed to be awesome.
I guess. Yan?
Get it? He's like a dog.
Thank you.
You'd think someone living in this city for as long as she is would have known that.
Yeah, you'd think so, didn't it?
Okay, so we're nearly 23 minutes in. Have there been any gags or jokes so far?
Well, I
Not
guess there's the whole I guess there's the whole Randy Quaid is a robot thing, but
That's not a gag.
well, he's a robot, so he acts like a robot.
3D.
Okay,
Okay.
again, so what? I forget. What's the trope for stuff that tries to portray the future as magnificent, but turns out to kind of be underwhelming in hindsight, or
I can't remember exactly.
Me neither.
Hmm. Guess life on the moon really is that much better than life on Earth, guys.
So over the years, Eddie's character Pluto here actually became kind of xenophobic.
Not so much xenophobic, more just, he prefers the moon over living on Earth because, the Earth has all those bugs and it smells weird, and you're not really making that good an argument.
Not really, no. That robot looks like a character off of Thunderbirds if Thunderbirds was live action.
Huh.
Thunderbirds was made live action.
Wasn't
Wasn't
that
it
movie
supposed to be-
terrible?
Wasn't it supposed to
Yeah.
be puppets originally, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would they make a live action? Never mind.
Yeah. Wow, you got Rosario Dawson doing
So
a
even-
stick out
so
your
basically-
tongue like she's a freaking child joke. Congrats,
Was that an
movie,
American-
congrats.
Was that movie made in America, or was it a British film as well?
Co-production.
Oh, co-production between the two. Okay.
Hey, John.
John,
So-
what are you doing here?
Well, John, you're down on your luck. All you are is a pool shark.
I guess.
God, the meta jokes.
Oh, look at that. Automatic pool.
Pizza time.
Okay, that's the first good joke in the movie, and a legitimate joke in the movie.
Well, I mean, we do
Wait,
have.
what was the joke?
He was saying, "Man, you should lose weight. I would, because of your wife. I would lose weight if she married me. If not, then what's the point?" So there's that. Okay, that's the first joke of the movie.
I
And
mean-
we're 26 minutes in.
I guess to be fair, there are like two top-notch comedians on screen. Like they would have to make something funny eventually.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Eddie Murphy got his start, like many comedians, off of SNL. I gotta tell you, one of my favorite skits was seeing him act opposite of Robin Williams. Yes, that's right. There is actually an SNL skit starring Robin Williams and Eddie Murphy side by side, and it's as glorious as you could imagine it to be.
Well, that's not that surprising when you think that about the time it took place.
Isn't that cheating?
No, technically not. At least in the future.
This is not normal pool, dude. It's this future pool.
Ah, yes, in the future, we'll still be using Windows 98 technology, of course.
Of course, that makes sense. Because this is what I want to talk about in a space comedy romp.
Oh
Yeah,
boy,
that's the biggest problem with this movie. The tone is so colossally mishandled. It's supposed to be a comedy, and yet they play it as a straight detective mystery story.
I mean, okay, you want to do
Meaning
that.
that all the wacky stuff that you normally would expect in a space movie like this is actually kind of out of place with the more serious mystery that they're trying to build up.
So, are we seriously having another case of movie would have been better if they had named it a different genre?
That's the thing, Joe. This is the reverse of The Happening. Whereas The Happening wanted to take itself seriously, was supposedly to be like like a nature horror type of situation, and it was just came across as a comedy. This is the reverse. This is supposed to be a comedy, but it comes across as something different. And that's way worse. Because with The Happening, you get to laugh at it. With this, you just feel awkward watching it. Because you don't know how to feel.
The closest thing to consistent humor is, again, Randy Quaid is a robot because he acts weird because he's a robot. Okay, interesting tastes. Huh. So apparently in the future, plastic surgery has come quite a ways.
So what? Just 60 years time, you can get.
I'm sorry, are you suggesting having to tamper with Rosario Dawson, of all people? Yeah, like so it's shot. That would be a great idea. Okay, that was kind of funny. And mainly because of Eddie Murphy's delivery movie.
Yeah.
It's like I say, Eddie Murphy, when he is allowed to talk, can actually salvage some good comedy out of something. Fascinating. Oh.
Let's see.
Huh. Muscular.
I wonder if this is where the $100 million went to.
Well, I mean, at least it's not outright fetish fuel.
Well, to be okay. To give credit, I guess, like for 2002, these effects aren't that bad.
And now it's fetish fuel.
Okay, never mind. Now it is. But,
Wow.
to be fair,
Give a compliment and then like 3 seconds later the movie ruins it.
well, although to be fair, that was meant to be.
Yeah, okay,
Eddie Murphy doing it for the sake of jokes. So to be fair, it's not meant to.
Yeah. I mean, I've
It's
seen.
not meant to agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I mean, I've seen worse.
Also, you know, one thing I've noticed with comedy films,
What?
Yes.
the really expensive ones are generally regarded as being not good. There was this film, there's Evan Almighty, there's That's My Boy,
Ooh.
Little Fuckers.
That's because Webs. Usually a good comedy director doesn't really require that much money because usually comedy is derived from the writing and the actors, not so much special effects. Or
Yeah.
big expensive sets.
Case in point, Son of the Mask, which went even more over the top with the animated humor, but to a point where all else was lost.
I mean, one exception is, of course, the movies made by the Pythons, but, well, we're talking about the Pythons here. So...
Come see Pluto Nash, a bunch of characters talking about stuff you probably won't care about.
It's all part of the mystery.
But that's the problem. The comedy isn't funny and the mystery isn't interesting.
I'm still trying to solve the mystery of what the first 9 minutes of this movie had to do with anything. Huh.
So his mom's played by Pam Grier.
Oh, she's a pretty good actress.
Well, there's plenty of good actresses in this movie. It's just, well, actors and actresses in this movie. It's just, well,
Oh, so this one is that she wants her son to get off the moon.
Oh, that was easy. He was so adamant about not leaving the moon earlier. Just the mom telling him, "You go off the moon." Oh, okay then.
yeah. Anyway, I found some trivia on IMDb. Yeah, the film was a major disaster. The film got shelved for almost 2 years before it eventually came out. Eddie Murphy poked fun at it. Even better, Eddie Murphy didn't promote the movie.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and as like I mentioned earlier, the script was written back in 1985, but even though a bunch of other writers wrote different treatments, only Neil Cuthbert was the credited one. Anyway, I found out a bit of the production troubles. There was constant bickering during filming between Eddie Murphy, Ron Underwood, the director, and the producers, with Murphy constantly overruling the director and made on-the-fly rewrites, which caused the movie to.
Oh, how nice that scene. Okay, the music is definitely the best actor of this movie.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
that
kinda-
worked.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Anyway, the work print version of the film, which is where they compile all the scenes together. It ran nearly 3 hours.
Okay, that was actually pretty cool.
So what they had to do was they had to bring in Alan Hyme to try and fix the movie, who determined that they had to reshoot a large portion of the film, including adding a new opening and closing sequence and some scenes that introduced both Pluto and Dina, with many of the reshoots being financed by Eddie Murphy himself, who apparently wrote and directed most of the new scenes.
So Eddie Murphy tried to salvage the sinking ship.
Yeah, but did it work?
Not really.
Well, kudos. Well, that's the thing about Eddie Murphy. I'll give him this. He does try every time and then. Even if it doesn't feel like he's trying in this movie. Seriously, I've never seen him feel so autopilot. Although, like I said, that scene with his mother shooting the robots, that was actually pretty cool. So, okay, you got a few joke scenes and a decent action bit there. Now build off of it, movie. Build off of it.
By breaking and entering.
Well, I'll give Eddie Murphy this. He could definitely do a car commercial.
Has he done car adverts?
I don't know, but he would be perfect for them.
I didn't even like.
Okay, so we're now on to car stealing.
Okay then.
And there's John Cleese.
Oh hey, John.
You're back here again, John.
Mm.
Okay. So, out of all the characters here, one of the ones I'm getting the most emotion from is the talking car.
Well, it's John Cleese, Jova. This guy can make anything charming.
Weird. So, John Cleese.
Neil Armstrong monuments.
Yeah, because, moon and all that. So, let me get this straight. So, John.
Trump Realty.
Ah.
That's so. In hindsight.
Doesn't help that he founded the whole Space Force thing, so goddamn. Guess this movie may have predicted one thing.
You were saying about John Cleese, Jova?
So John Cleese apparently plays two characters. He plays that guy we saw at the pool table and this guy here too, apparently. Huh.
No, that's not John Cleese. That's
That's not that's not John Cleese. It's somebody else. Actually.
Oh, I thought that was John Cleese putting on an American accent back there. Oh well.
I don't think John is even capable of doing an American accent. I've never heard him try it, at least. Okay, so this is the part where they're supposed to start bonding, and eventually they'll become a couple by the end of this. Okay.
Well, we're finally getting some good humor. Mind you, it's between Eddie Murphy and John Cleese, so yeah, if they did manage to make this funny, this movie would have had absolutely no hope whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Yeah,
fell
she fell
asleep. Dang, that got a giggle out of me.
I can imagine John Cleese.
So go on.
I can imagine John Cleese being in whatever studio he was recording those bits. The director was all like, "Don't worry, John. This movie's gonna be a big hit." And John's like, "Good luck, old boy."
You know what's sad though? John Cleese was in two bad movies released in 2002. This film and Die Another Day.
Ooh.
I still enjoy his bit in Die Another Day. Die Another Day did not suck because of him.
I never said that.
Well,
It's just
I guess to
be in those two movies.
I guess to be fair, Pedro, that's kind of the same case here. The movie does not suck because of him, and his bit is surprisingly the good one, but goddamn, it's still a bad movie.
It's interesting. Die Another Day came out in 2002.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2004.
No, it's 2002.
Huh. Then when did World Is Not Enough come out then?
1999.
Huh.
Oh, now we get to see them do space stuff.
Huh.
Oh, nice. Hell, this movie's not even that riffable. This movie is just mostly awkward.
It's like, I guess it's like a 6-year-old child. It's like, imagine you're going to your kid's recital. By God, they are trying, but it's still a 6-year-old. It's still a production made by 6-year-olds.
Also, is it me or did the screen just switch off while he was doing the code?
I don't know. Soundtrack for the moon, I guess. Seriously, I mean, this is like, I think, the second lyrical song now, and...
Also, wouldn't considering they're on the moon, because remember, the gravity in the moon is 6 times less powerful.
Well,
than
hence
the
why
Earth, so
hence why they were floating while they were out there.
I guess. Well, that happened.
Get
And we're
it?
gonna do
She's
that.
And that's happening again.
Get it? She's programmed to do that.
This is still going.
Oh boy, and get it? Randy Quaid has the hots for her because he's also a robot.
Ha! Get it?
Robot sex!
Yes.
Lol.
Yeah,
fine.
this is honestly one of the most straightforward of movies that's supposed to be a comedy ever.
Yeah, it's a space movie. The character's called Pluto Nash. You have all this, moody space stuff, and yet you're left with this.
I mean,
Okay, well, Eddie Murphy's on his lunch break, so I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna just nip something real quick. Don't worry, I won't be burping.
Jesus Christ, I think The Matrix had more legit laughs than this movie. And that wasn't
was
supposed
meant
to be a
taken
comedy.
serious.
Hey, was that a Beverly Hills jacket in the background?
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
hey, Alec, what are you doing here? But don't you see what Team America is just as bad as the enemy. They fight.
You know, I never get reporters who think that a crime boss is going to just go ahead and announce that he's a crime boss on the network. And I will never understand crime bosses who so obviously manipulate the reporters while on the network. And do blatantly evil stuff like that.
Oh, by the way, Alec Baldwin never comes back.
So yeah, we had this one scene with a recording of a crime boss. Who shall we get? A typical stunt double, since it's a very short scene. It doesn't matter much. Now let's get Alec Baldwin.
Oh, and he's uncredited, by the way.
Huh. So even he didn't want to have his name attached to this thing.
But maybe Mercutio is the bad guy. We're gonna have him be voiced by George Lopez. That'll make this an even better comedy.
What? That.
Oh.
Just gonna say Futurama did this better and move on.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, bad luck.
Also, that voice Randy Quaid has, that's something, alright? Also, interesting quote Eddie Murphy had about the movie. I know the 2 or 3 people that like this movie.
Fascinating.
Fascinating.
You know, for a movie that's supposed to be about how the future will be different and all, not much really seems to have changed. Like, sure, you'll have, like, the occasional passing gag about this or that, but not much. Subtle. Very subtle. Okay, they kind of predicted that. Fair enough.
Okay, do that line again, but this time, don't be so melodramatic.
But wait, it's supposed to be a dramatic scene.
It's a space comedy!
Apparently, Dwebs.
Oh!
Apparently, Dwebs, somebody did not get that memo.
Meanwhile,
What,
Bruno...
Eddie Murphy? Ron Underwood?
Apparently, Bruno was getting it on with the French maid while this was going on.
How charming. God, this movie's so boring.
We still
I
have
mean, the best part of it is the soundtrack. Like Jonas
definitely,
said earlier.
Uh-huh.
and we have like 40-something minutes left. Well, damn.
Well, yep, once again, I can see where the budget went.
Yep.
Always keep your bathrooms well and secure.
By secure, we mean,
Oh no, the robot
Whoopsie!
maid.
Oh no, her underwear's showing. How scandalous.
Ah, these guys look even sillier than the aliens in Planet from Outer Space.
this is supposed to be a straight. Is it?
Well, that's the thing, Debs. The Plan 9 was trying to be a straight movie too. The problem, much like The Happening, it was so ridiculously silly that it just came across as a comedy.
This is such a weirdly made mess.
It really is. Like, I mean, the bad factor of this movie is one that's a bit hard to tag. Like, You know, in a lot of cases, when something's terrible, you can pretty much tell right from the get-go what you're getting into when you realize it. But with this movie, the terribleness starts off rather subtly, but, you know, quickly grows and expands. Like, it's hard to describe.
Well, I can describe it. It has to do with tone. This movie failed to properly establish a tone and commit to it.
True that. Maybe that's why it's so hard to peg.
As a result, you don't know how to feel about it. Like, am I supposed to be invested or laugh?
High kick?
I mean, how at least in 1,000 words there were gags.
Ugh, yeah.
I mean, they weren't funny, but at least there were gags.
Didn't 1,000 Words get like 0% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know.
Let me check. Also, these action scenes suck.
It reminds me of
Well, Jeremy, you liked one of the action scenes earlier.
Yeah, I know, but the action scenes as a whole in this movie are just rather lame for what's supposed to be an action comedy.
I mean, all there is just pointing and shooting.
Like, come on, you're on
Maybe
the
some dodging.
and I guess maybe some moon floating. Oh, goody, he's going guns akimbo again. And yet it feels so slow. I guess to be fair, they're on the moon, so it makes sense it would go kind of slow, but
Yeah, but it's like Thunderball's underwater sequences. Yeah, it's underwater, so the action's gonna be slow, but it doesn't stop it from being kind of dull to watch.
yeah. Instead of considering how you're going to do it, you should have considered, should you have done it that way?
Yeah, what
oh,
John Cleese said.
John Cleese is back on screen. Maybe this will be funny.
Well, he said something funny already. Whoop! Okay, time for a moon car chase. This should be exciting. Is that a Dalek?
Was that C-3PO? What the hell is C-3? Sorry, no, sorry. R2-D2? Was R2-D2 in that? Yeah, it looks a bit like R2-D2 when he's on Luke's ship.
It looks like a fusion of R2-D2 and a Dalek. Dwibs, what's going on here?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely getting Super Mario Brothers movies vibes. And yet, I'm gonna say it, I preferred that movie over this one. Like, at least that one had the cool ice tunnel chase. That was nice. Uh-oh.
That movie was an incredible train wreck that at the very least was interesting to dissect. This isn't even interesting to dissect, if I'm going to be honest.
I think there's a reason this movie only made $7 million worldwide.
Oh, I'm gonna give it.
7.1.
Hey, I'm gonna give the Super Mario Brothers movie credit as well. The costumes in that, obviously not the Goomba ones, especially given when we learned, but aside from that, the costumes in that movie were pretty good, especially Mario and Luigi's actual outfits.
And I personally got a real kick of watching, of hearing Dwibs' reactions to live-action Yoshi, which was basically a hashtag not my Yoshi moment from Dwibs. Basically.
Okay, from a movie standpoint, the effects for Yoshi are pretty good for the time. On the other hand, what the hell did they do to Yoshi?
Yeah, but Dwibs refuses to acknowledge that thing as Yoshi.
I do not blame you. Also, Yoshi gets flipping stabbed in that movie too, just saying.
It's a dinosaur, but that's it.
I just want to mention that Yoshi gets freaking shivved in that movie as well.
It's the same thing with the Goombas. Like, pretty much everybody will also refuse to acknowledge those things as Goombas.
Yeah. Oh, get it? Get it? E.T. reference, except instead of the moon, it's the Earth. Well, looks like Eddie Murphy here is biting off a bit more than he could chew.
And this sums up the movie's box office.
Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah!
Okay, yeah. Now I'm
Eddie.
starting to see why Warner
what am I
Brothers
gonna
let
do
it go
with
on the
you?
shelf for 2 years.
Why was this thing on the shelf anyway?
Gee,
don't know.
maybe because it's a pile of garbage?
Yeah, but did they
Well,
realize
Since when
that?
that stopped Warner Brothers releasing stuff on schedule? They released the Avengers 4 years before.
Okay. I guess we can say he went out with a bang.
Yeah, like, goddamn, John, you're too good for this movie.
Hell, Eddie Murphy's too good for this movie. Rosario Dawson's too good for this movie. Even Randy Quaid's too good for this movie. Hell, Alec Baldwin was too good for the few seconds he was on screen for this movie.
Yeah.
Not a,
Apparently that's...
Oh. Never mind. He's still in the movie, apparently.
excuse me, apparently I still have a role in this. Could you help me, good chaps?
Oh yeah, I should explain earlier because, well, I can't blame you for missing it. The whole Alec Baldwin thing, his character created that Rex creator fellow to be his public face so that he wouldn't be exposed or something.
Go figure.
Yeah,
Yeah, we still don't know who this Rex creator fellow is. I'm guessing that's a mystery for the end.
well, good thing I don't care then.
Walking.
Excuse me.
Walking.
Yes, don't spare us a single second, movie. I want to see every step that they take to arrive at their destination.
But doesn't
Good.
the moon look so beautiful, Mr. Duarte?
Yes, by all means, show us every step. Oh, okay, now it's...
Oh,
No,
snap.
it doesn't.
Oh, Dina can't breathe now?
They're running out of oxygen, I think.
Well,
guess,
crud.
but-
Oh, snap. This is supposed to be a serious moment.
This is a really bad... these are really bad astronaut suits, then. Really? They have so little oxygen in their tanks?
To be fair, they did just survive an explosion, so I think that may have had to do with damaging them a bit.
Well, I guess they're dead. Okay, movie over. Okay, so final thoughts on the adventures of Pluto Nash.
Wait. Oh, is Randy Quaid coming to the rescue?
What is he gonna do? In fact,
Carry them.
hold on. I just noticed something.
What?
I thought the moon has been terraformed. How come there's no air in it then?
To be fair, they're on the far side of the moon, which hasn't been, terraformed.
So I was right. Colonizing the moon is an incredibly dangerous procedure that is not really worth the resources it would take.
To their credit, you're not supposed to usually go out on the far side of the moon in this community, so they did take that into consideration.
I'm sorry, I just can't see this. What?
Did the movie finally decide to pick a tone all of a sudden? Because I think I know what I feel. Wait. Hold on, that actor.
Yeah, I've seen him. He looks familiar to me as well. Who's that?
Dwibs?
I'll see if I can find it.
I'm sorry, Jova, but this whole colonizing moon business, I just cannot see it as anything other than a bad idea.
The actor's name is Louis Guzman.
Oh, Luis Guzman. Yeah, I've seen him before. He's a good actor.
I've seen him in comedies, yeah. Am I supposed to know what that means?
He's, the Michael Jordan of smuggling?
No, he said Tito Puentes.
I'm guessing that's a Latino expression.
I don't know.
Tito Puente is a man.
You know, I get that. When he's like, well,
I assume that, but I don't know who he is.
oh, she does a Terminator on me.
What? That is the most confusing Terminator reference I've ever heard. Like, what was the joke there?
I guess that she messed him up badly, so he kind of is
Oh.
a bit.
There's a Terminator reference in the Marine that makes more sense. Okay, so how are they going to recharge Randy Quaid?
That reminds me, Dwebs. Have you ever seen John Cena's Pro Glide challenge commercial?
No.
That is quite possibly one of the most atrociously
Oh, get it? The battery is his penis.
Great.
Yes, Major?
Basically,
It's
you have
one
to.
of the-
I'm sorry, go on.
It's one of the most obnoxious commercials ever. I'll show you after this because, trust me, it's. Ugh.
Basically, the joke is that one of the wires had to be connected to a rod that extended out of the crotch of his pants. Because it hurts his crotch, even though that's where he has to be charged.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing, though. It's supposed to be a comedy, and yet the tone of the movie is straight. So all the comedic stuff you'd expect is actually out of place.
How
Okay,
weird.
Mr. Underwood and Mr. Cuthbert, you're making Deadly Premonition seems like it has a balance of tone.
Like, and you know what? I don't get this. Underwood, you made Tremors, a movie which, while incredibly serious, because, you know, there was a serious danger, still could have some tongue-in-cheek comedy here and there. So, why'd you screw the pooch so badly with this movie?
No. Oh, by the way, I don't think we see John Cleese anymore.
Oh.
Maybe we'll see him in an after-credits gag or something.
There is no after credit scene.
But he's my favorite Python, though.
I'm curious.
Sorry, Pedro. You'll get Eddie Murphy sleepwalking through the movie and like it.
Oh.
So, Dwibs, how do you know there's no after-credits scene? Have you seen this movie before?
I tried to. I couldn't do it, so what I did was I skipped to the end to see if there was a credit scene,
Ah,
and there wasn't one.
okay then.
Luna Grand.
You know, it's more fun to imagine what 2080 will actually be like than watching this movie. All robots must be checked until departure.
Okay.
Oh, get it? Because he's a robot, the slot machine wants to have sex with him.
I-
Okay,
what?
horny slot machine.
Okay.
That's a joke.
So, I guess
think-
I got... Oh, so I have to say this again. Futurama did this better. Moving on.
You see, this is exactly the thing. Even when this movie does try to have some kind of silly joke, it just comes across as either confusing or just outright nonsensical.
Okay. Like, I get it. The basis is that, you know, he's a robot, so he would fraternize with other robot things. I think the problem is that only now are they establishing that even slot machines are, you know, living robots. Like, I have so many questions. Why would you make a slot machine living? Why would you give a slot machine the programmed ability to have a libido? Why?
Because whoever was in charge of creating this moon civilization has a really sick sense of humor.
And this bit is still going on.
And it just goes away.
But it calls for security.
Well, that happened. Moving on.
Also, to be
So hang
fair,
on, you've been acting horny this whole movie and yet you reject a slot machine. That's
I guess that's the joke. Like, he's horny for female bots, but not slot machines.
Because this.
Oh, you poor, poor slot machine, you.
Well, at least Guzman is his life is going well apparently now.
Hey, he gets to play the guy who drinks. Who wouldn't enjoy that while being on the set for this movie? The name is Murphy. Eddie Murphy.
you
Wow.
idiots.
God. Did they not tell you that they are trying to keep a low profile? I could have sworn there was a scene where they told him that they wanted to keep a low profile. Guys, was I just in a coma? Because I could have sworn they blatantly told him he wants to keep a low profile. What the hell is going on?
Also, I just realized who this bad guy was. Not these ones. The one that just threw stuff at Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah?
He's the father from Blank Check.
Oh my god, is he?
I think he is.
So what was this? Was this movie a challenge to all the actors who have been in movies previously considered bad, and the challenge was try and be in a worse movie than that one?
Let me
Really does
double
seem
check.
like it. Okay, not gonna lie, that visual shot is pretty cool.
It's okay, I guess.
Oh, look at that. Tony's actually successful now.
Could you remind me again? What's the name of the character? Oh, I think I found him. It's
Anthony
Jim.
Francis.
No,
Wait.
no. That not. I mean the Blank Check dad character. Who's what's the name of the character?
I
Do
don't
you know? Whatever.
Well, the characters aren't especially memorable, Pager.
Hold on. I'll figure it out for myself. I think I found him.
So original, huh? Oh, okay, so that's where the first 9 minutes come back into play.
Yeah. Now they link up like an hour and 11 minutes in.
It's the Chekhov's gunman, I guess.
Yeah. I just found it. It's this one, isn't it?
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah, it is the dad from Blank Check. It is.
Okay, maybe this movie is the challenge. Hey, you thought your previous movie was bad?
His name is James Rabhorn. He was in Blank Check in 1994. He was also in Scent of a Woman, The Game, Talented Mr. Ripley, The First Independence Day. He was in Seinfeld for one episode. Yeah, basically. He's mostly a TV actor from what I'm seeing here nowadays.
Also,
I'll actually no. Apparently, his career stopped at 2014. I don't know if he died or something. Oh yeah, he died in 2014. There you go.
Ah.
you know, one thing I noticed, 2002, this film feels very 90s for 2002. Yeah, 2002, I swear, was the year when a lot of 90s stuff seemed to just die out.
Remember the rule, Dibs. The 90s began in the late 80s and ended in the early 2000s.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think almost every decade doesn't start off with how we associate it with. It's like I said before, the 80s didn't start until 81 or 82, and yet Doctor Who got ahead of the curve when 1980 came about, when they started doing all the stuff you associate with the 80s. You're having synth music and everything.
Well, that's the thing about the 80s. The 80s the 80s ended more abruptly, but the 90s, something about the 90s caused that trend to not only start early, but end pretty late, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the thing about these two is that they're twins.
Apparently.
Oh! Never mind, he married
Oh.
the perfect woman and had her cloned. That's a thing in the
Oh.
future.
Although you can tell it's played by twin actresses.
I mean, it's better than trying to, do the twin effect by just having one person play it both sides. I mean, especially around this time.
Well, it's because your jokes suck, dude.
Wow, they really are playing this beat for beat straightforward. The whole, oh, nobody sees him, or I can get you in, but that's just it.
Seems to be a running thing throughout this movie. Oh, I could do this, but that's it.
Yeah, though, you blew up my business, or now it's personal. They killed your best friend. Get out of there, Johnny boy!
Wow, it's that easy to get in there, eh?
I guess the idea is like, oh, it's a secret nobody. Oh, there's the catch.
What ones that aren't hot? They're all hot.
What do you mean cut the blue wire? They're all blue wires.
That's another problem. This movie seems to be providing us all of better comedies. I mean, they even have actors from other better comedies in it. One of them's the lead star. One's John Cleese.
Another's Rosario Dawson. I mean, she's not mainly a comedian. Oh!
Oh, well, I guess you won't be doing any leaping then, eh?
Hi, Dad from Blink Check.
So what was the point of establishing the jumping across thing then if you aren't going to do anything with it?
For failure, of course.
Oh, okay, fine. Let's seduce our way out of this. I guess.
Well, when you put it like that. Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, Randy Quaid's character was a little irritating, so it was nice to have a little break. Yep. What, you just gonna leave Pluto there?
Well, never mind.
Oh. Well, oh, well, finally, we get to see who Rex Crater is.
Hello, Mr. Nash.
Finally, it
Oh my
is.
god. Who is it?
So, Mr. Nash, I'm here for my career. Where is it?
Oh God, is it Mike Marucci, the guy who we hired Alec Baldwin to play?
Possibly, I guess.
And it's...
Oh,
Eddie Murphy.
What?
okay.
Excuse me? So did somebody clone him?
Well, we have established that cloning technology is a thing, conveniently in like the last 10 or so minutes.
Okay, so... Yeah.
Also, we're so totally gonna have one of those bits where we have to tell who's the real Pluto Nash, aren't we?
Let's see. Oh, so it is cloning.
Yeah,
Yep.
They cloned him from his appendix.
Again, it's so nice that the movie established 10 minutes ago that cloning's a thing, so I guess there was foreshadowing?
What, from 10 minutes before?
Ask yourselves, is this the kind of mystery that the audience could have solved?
And also, it's weird. This movie has two extremes. When it foreshadows stuff, it either takes too long to get to that no one cares, or it's too short of a time after it's been established that no one can really get to grips with it.
That's nice. Okay. Again, it's nice that they're explaining this, but we don't really know how cloning works in this universe, so...
I have an even better question, Jova. Okay, so Pluto has an evil clone. Okay, who did this? Why did they clone him, and for what purpose exactly?
remember, it was Alec Baldwin. He made Rex Crater to
To what?
Okay,
be his public
what?
face.
So what, is Marucci dead now?
Well, we don't see him outside of that scene, so maybe.
Well... Dun dun dun! It would be a big shock, except we, the audience, kind of already know this, so what was the point of that?
It was to show it to the other characters again.
Kind of feels redundant, doesn't it?
Telling me, well, this whole movie feels redundant.
Shot for
Also-
incompetence.
Well, okay, it's a good thing we brought in Joe Pantoliano for a role that in no way caters to his strengths and is just there to be killed. Good job, movie.
Well, I guess to be fair, Rex Crater is kind of a competent villain, you know, getting rid of incompetent morons. Oh, he's got a golden gun.
Yeah, I wish I was watching that movie right now.
Seriously, why do so many movies like to go for that obvious ploy, Dwibs?
I don't know. So yeah,
You see-
his plan is to take over the club, which he tried to do earlier, but you blew it up. Remember, you idiots?
Yeah, he can renovate.
You see, Mr. Murphy?
Wait.
Wow. It's just like when the Disney villains replaced the House of Mouse thingy for
House
House
of
of
Villains.
Villains.
You're about to joke, Pedro?
You see, Mr. Murphy, like every great artist, I want to create a masterpiece once in my life. The death of Pluto Nash. Mano a mano. Face to face. Each of us with a 50-50 chance. A duel between titans. My golden gun against your wall for PPK.
Oh, now we're getting the action scene where we can't tell who's who.
Oh, gee, I must be a wizard for predicting that.
So yeah, we are really gonna get the shoot him. I'm the real Pluto Nash scene.
I don't know why, but I feel like Eddie Murphy facing off against an evil Eddie Murphy should have been in a better movie. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's no way we can tell! Again!
How convenient that Pluto decided to go with the exact same smoking that Rex is wearing.
You know, it's like I say, this movie literally plays it trope by trope, right down to
Okay,
the
this was
very
actually
beat.
pretty good.
Okay, that was kind of funny. Congrats.
Exactly.
Okay, this is kind of funny. Again, it just really helps of Eddie Murphy's delivery.
Ask him a question that only Pluto would know.
Or hell, bad
Yeah, but
guys.
he's got all his memories.
Oh right, I forgot. Well, now we know. That's Rex. Yeah. What?
Whoa, the music just went dramatic there all of a sudden.
Yeah, we know it's Pluto. Just reveal it, movie.
Ah ha ha ha, yes. Pluto. Was Rosario just coked out when she said that? Ha, an armored undershirt.
Yeah, but he's got one too.
Well, okay, like I said, Rex Crater is a rather competent villain. I guess I can give him that. And now he's dead.
Well, it's like there was absolutely no point for him to have to survive thanks to the undershirt.
Wait,
Craps,
you
you
craps,
lose.
you lose. What is that? What you typically? What does people falling on a table? Is that something that typically happens in craps?
I gotta love the employee's reaction to that. Oh my god, my boss was dead. Oh, by the way, Craps, you lose.
Also, damn, the CGI is
Has not
by
aged the best.
2002 standards.
I have great news, though. The movie's almost over.
And now Dina Lake is a singer. Yes, this is most definitely a 90s film.
Yeah, well, a 90s film circa 2002. Hooray! We saved Mars. Sorry, the moon. Sorry.
You know, fun fact, Eddie Murphy was nominated for Worst Screen Couple Murphy and himself cloned. Just saying.
Who won that award?
Let's see. It didn't win that. It lost to Jiggly, apparently. Oh wait, never mind. That was for the Golden Raspberry Awards. It doesn't say who he lost that award to. Let me check. Aww, get it? He can't have sex with her because he needs an adapter.
And they're not compatible. Get it? 110, 220. Oh, thank God the film's nearly over.
Let's see. Worst screen couple. Oh, apparently the winner for worst screen couple was Adriano, Gianni, and Madonna in Swept Away.
Ooh.
Is Swept Away a bad movie?
Well, Guy Ritchie made that film after he made Snatch, and he was married to Madonna at the time.
Oh dear.
I haven't seen the movie, granted, but that doesn't sound good. I mean, I'm pretty sure there have been films that where a spouse was the main actor, and they were directed by their other spouse, but still, well, maybe they were good.
Yes,
The end.
that's the moon. Let's see, Swept Away.
Anyway,
Oh, ho, ho. On a budget of $10 million, Swept Away made $1,036,520.
Well, I mean, Madonna wasn't necessarily known for her acting talent, but anyway, that was The Adventures of Pluto Nash. Pedro, how about you go first for your final thoughts?
That was a movie, I guess.
What the hell did I just watch?
It really is a case of this. I have no idea what the hell this movie was trying to accomplish. Was it meant to be a somewhat heartwarming family romp? Was it meant to be a comedy? Was it meant to be a mystery? It's just like the movie never at any point establishes a tone, and as a result, anything it tries to do, it fails. Like, okay, if I had to take a guess, I'm guessing this is supposed to be a somewhat kind of adventure mystery space romp with occasional comedy here and there, but also meant to have a somewhat lighthearted little story to it. And it's however, none of it works because the writing does a poor job at making us care for the characters. The comedy is off, incredibly off, except for a couple of good moments here and there, mostly from Eddie Murphy and not John Cleese. The music is good, I guess, so there's that. But everything aside from that just feels awkward. That's the primary problem. It feels awkward. You never know exactly how you're supposed to feel at the end of every scene because the references are either confusing or just flat out nonsensical. It's just a movie that just makes you feel like what am I supposed to get out of this constantly? And it's just like, I mean, ugh, like I don't even understand what the fuck this movie was trying to accomplish. I mean, when you look at the production history, considering the multiple rewrites and reshoots, yeah, no wonder this movie is a mess. So yeah, like it sucks, and it's mostly just kind of boring because it's not engaging you in any way, shape, or form. It's just, ugh, whatever. It happened. It's unpleasant, and I'm done.
I'll go next. I'll just ask again. What the hell did I look at here? So, okay. This movie can't seem to decide if it wants to be a comedy, an action film, or a mystery film. Well, I got news for you. It fails on all those fronts. Comedy-wise, yes, it has some funny jokes. Lord knows it has to. Eddie Murphy does his best to salvage stuff. John Cleese is, as usual, a delight. Hell, even some of the other actors occasionally get some stuff in there. But for the most part, the comedy falls flat. Okay, what about the action? Aside from that one good scene with Eddie Murphy's his character's mother shooting up those robots, the best action scene is arguably the one where Eddie Murphy fights himself, and that's at the tail end of the movie. And even still, it has that usual cliche of, spot the real one! Of course. And then there's the mystery here. Okay, the twist that it's actually his clone kind of comes a bit out of nowhere. Now, okay, we do technically get foreshadowing that, yes, cloning is a thing. That said, we have almost no reason to believe that it would be a clone. Like, sure, yeah, they tell us that clones have the memories of people here and there, but that's something that's only established as we're told the twist. So, in terms of being a mystery that the audience themselves could try and solve, it's kind of an impossible one. And, you know, if you're trying to be a mystery, well, you kind of failed, because the idea of a mystery story is that the audience should be able to solve it themselves before the characters do, or
It's one of those
alongside
things
the
where-
characters.
Yeah, for comparison, allow me to bring up the plot twist in Inokuni 1, where it turns out Shadar is Oliver's soulmate. The concept of the soulmates is established right from the very beginning of the game, and from the very times that Shadar is around, he mysteriously spares Oliver for whatever reason. And then later when you find out the twist, now it suddenly makes sense.
Never in my life would I have ever thought there'd be a comparison between Nino Cooney and the adventures of Pluto Nash.
Well, here we are. I mean, it's because it's such a stupid plot. It's such a stupid plot twist because it doesn't really have any sense of build-up here and there. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rex Crater is arguably the smartest character in this movie, and he ends up dead. On a weird joke, too. Craps, you lose. Yes, that's totally the reaction an employee would have to a guy falling to his death onto the bargaining table.
Hey, Joven, do you remember that one time where you and I played poker, and then a guy fell dead onto the table, and the guy said, "Three of spades."
Huh. Or that time when we were playing slots, and then all of a sudden, Jennifer Goodwin fell on them, and then somebody said, "Hey, it's a full jackpot."
Yeah, those were some weird times. There we go.
Again, it's a movie that cannot seem to choose its plot. Yeah, speaking of not being able to choose its plot, they give a very bare justification as to the first 9 or so minutes of the movie, involving Tony here and there. And Tony kind of leaves the film after his last scene, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah, I think okay, there was that scene at the end where he was talking to those two ladies in the bar.
oh right, yeah, he is technically back for that, but aside from it, But yeah, it can't seem to pick its tone, can't seem to pick its story, because the story is constantly changing up its beats every now and then. Sure, the overarching story is the same, but it feels like it loses focus a lot of times. Like, hell, what happened to the whole plot point of him liking life on the moon better? Or his mother insisted that he come back to Earth or something. Like, that kind of just went up in smoke. And I cannot stress enough how so much of it is not funny, even though it should be funny. And like I said, for one that's trying to show what the future in 2080 will be, even for 2002, that's kind of lame when you get down to it. Like, pretty sure we had better technology than a lot of the technology shown in this movie. The future guns aside, and the biometric scanner, which gets mentioned, but I realize never really shows up in the film, despite being told about. So yeah. Now, for the big question, is this a worse movie than 1,000 Words? I'm actually gonna say this. I still like this better than 1,000 Words, if only because 1,000 Words just felt like trauma conga line porn of Eddie Murphy. Like, he constantly suffers in that movie for stuff that's not really his fault. Whereas at least in here, he at least gets to end it with some dignity. But in 1,000 Words, that just feels like trauma porn for Eddie Murphy, and I hate it. And like I said before, at least Eddie Murphy gets to speak more in this movie, so he can salvage it more with his ad-libbing here and there. 1,000 Words, not so much. Which is funny because 1,000 Words was also an outdated comedy because it was made at some point, held back for years, and then eventually released. Just like this movie. Alright, Dwibs, close us out. Oh, wait, hold on, one more thing. Bessing's the music. Now I'm done.
Well, I mean, it's from John Powell, also to expect.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, as for my thoughts, okay, this is the first time I've actually managed to complete the movie from beginning to end, and well, I'm glad I had you guys to at least somewhat help me get through it, because damn, this movie, okay, this movie is like the worst things comedies can be. It's not funny, which in and of itself is enough to kill a comedy, but that's not all. It tries to do a mystery, but it's not engaging in the slightest. It tries to be an action movie, but yet the action scenes are 95% awful. It's all just pointing guns and shooting. Woo, how thrilling! And the what was, I mean, was the only reason? I swear the only reason they came up with the Rex Creator thing being a clone at the end was just so they could make Eddie Murphy work twice as hard for his paycheck.
I guess.
And that nostalgia critic mentioned in his review earlier when he was first revealed. Why does he keep looking to the sides when he first gets revealed? Did Eddie Murphy hear something? Or I don't know.
Oh,
The set
boy.
design is incredibly. It just looks like generic Future City.
It looks like
CGI,
Discount Blood Runner.
which is funny because I thought Super Mario Brothers was Discount Blade Runner. But,
Well, it's like I
yeah.
said, it looks a lot like the set of Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yeah. The CGI is awful, even by 2002 standards. The actors, probably one or two are trying, but the rest are just kind of phoning it in. And some characters just flat out vanish from the film. Like Burt Young's character, the gangster, he's there for like 5 minutes and then he's gone.
It's not like
why-
we advertised him heavily for the movie.
And why exactly was Joe Pantoliano cast in this? Because his role has nothing to do with what Joe Pantoliano is good at.
Maybe it was him trying to break out of his usual circle?
Hell, he was better in Ready to Rumble, and that film was also a crappy Warner Brothers comedy. So yeah, I guess Warner Brothers couldn't do comedy in the early 2000s.
Alright.
And everything else is just kind of there. And I can, now that I've seen the film all the way through, now I can see why this movie was not only reviewed poorly, but did so badly at the box office.
Mhm.
Seriously, $7 million on $100 million budget? Damn, that's pathetic.
Was there
Especially when
even...
you got someone like Eddie Murphy as the headliner.
What was even the audience for this movie supposed to be?
I
Like,
have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this movie bombed. This movie has no audience.
I have no idea who is this movie supposed to appeal to.
People who like comedies, well, the comedy's not funny. Sci-fi fans, well, the sci-fi's not that engaging. Mystery fans, well, the mystery's not that engaging either.
and like I said, it's literally it's pretty much impossible unless you pretty much make a wild guess. And even still, you wouldn't even know that cloning's a thing until like 10 minutes before the plot reveal anyway.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that I've watched it all the way through now, so I'll probably never have to watch this again.
And so have you two, audience. I hope our commentary made it worthwhile.
I mean, hell, with the maybe Maybe. I mean, hell, this movie still hasn't broken even yet, even 18 years after it came out. So who knows? Maybe we can help this movie get like maybe $50 more to making back his budget.
Mind you, this is a movie that hasn't even been released on Blu-ray yet, so hot damn, looks like they really want to forget about this one.
Yeah, so the only way you're gonna get to see this in HD is by streaming.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah. So that was the Adventures of Pluto and Nash. Join us next time where we hopefully watch a better comedy.
Yeah.
See you then.
See ya.